Your top stories this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Mastermind, 3 others charged with terrorism, remanded to jail until November 12, 2025. 3 charged with aiding and abetting terrorists. Lawyer argues abuse of process. Dr. Campbell to keep government on its toes regarding transparency and accountability of all resources. Task force to develop comprehensive drainage development plan for Georgetown, says President Ali. And in sport, West Indies trunks hosts New Zealand in first of 2 T20s. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Wednesday, November 5 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. There was heightened police presence around the Georgetown Magistrates Court Wednesday morning as the mastermind and 3 others appeared before the acting chief magistrate charged with terrorism in relation to the October 26 deadly bombing. Here is more. Several persons appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Wednesday charged in connection with the October 26 bombing at the mobile gas station on Regent Street, which claimed the life of 6-year-old Soraya Bourne and sent shockwaves across Guyana. At the Georgetown Magistrates Court, the mastermind, 33-year-old Venezuelan Daniel Alexander Perdomo, 44-year-old Venezuelan Alexander Betancourt, and 33-year-old Guyanese Crystal Lacruz were charged with committing a terrorist act with intent to strike terror in the people of Guyana. All 3 appeared unrepresented. Also appearing in the Georgetown Magistrates Court was 27-year-old Venezuelan taxi driver Johnny Budram, who the court heard operates out of the Double Standard Hotel. His attorney, Michael Puran, claimed his client knows none of the other accused and that Lacruz was merely a customer he transported on the day in question. The attorney argued that his client's arrest was an abuse of process as the police had failed to file any extension to keep him in custody and had not followed proper procedures. The lawyer also told the court that a SIM card allegedly linked to his client had been purchased months earlier, in July, and was unrelated to the incident. Nevertheless, the prosecution objected to bail for all of the defendants, citing the seriousness of the charge and the potential risk to public safety. Acting Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti agreed and ordered that the accused be remanded to prison until November 12, 2025. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Meanwhile, in Court 6 of the Georgetown Magistrates Court, Magistrate Alicia George read the charge of aiding and abetting to 3 of the accused in the deadly gas station bombing. More details in this report. 3 more persons have been charged in connection with the October 26 explosion at the mobile gas station on Regent Street, Georgetown, which killed 6-year-old Soraya Bourne. The accused, 51-year-old taxi driver Ramesh Pramdeo, 44-year-old part-time mechanic, and Wayne Correa, both Guyanese, and 33-year-old Venezuelan Jennifer Rodriguez appeared via Zoom before Magistrate Alicia George of the Lenora Magistrates Court. They were charged with aiding and abetting the main suspect, Daniel Alexander Perdomo, also known as Kenny, in carrying out a terrorist act intended to threaten the security and sovereignty of Guyana. Attorney Bernard De Silva, who represented both Pramdeo and Correa, told the court that his clients are innocent men with no previous criminal records. He said that both men were performing ordinary duties when they were swept up in the case. According to De Silva, Correa was in Pomeroon at the time of the explosion and only contacted Pramdeo to transport 2 Venezuelan nationals to a hotel on the east bank of Essequibo. The lawyer maintained that his clients have or had no knowledge of the alleged plan, saw no explosive device, and never traveled to Georgetown in connection with the attack. De Silva described the evidence against his clients as weak, arguing that they are entitled to the presumption of innocence.
The 2 persons that I represented today, Ramesh Pramdeo and Wayne Correa, those persons could have been better used as witnesses for the state. to make the state's case against the number 1 and 2 accused stronger. Now, that has not happened, and I intend to adopt a certain course of action.
However, the prosecution objected to bail, citing again the serious nature of the offense, the penalties attached, and the potential threat to national security. Prosecutors claimed that the defense's account was inaccurate, insisting that the accused were part of the planning process to detonate the bomb. The court also heard that a boat allegedly used to transport the main suspect was later sold to one of the accused. Magistrate Alicia George emphasized that the offense is very serious and involves significant safety concerns. She refused bail, ordering that all 3 accused be remanded to prison until November 24. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. The Partnership for National Unity will be pushing for more transparency and accountability regarding the management of the country's oil resources. So says APNU's lead in the National Assembly, Dr. Terence Campbell. Antonio Day has this story.
As accusing fingers continue to be aimed at the Adelaide government regarding the mismanagement of the country's natural resources fund, Dr. Terence Campbell, parliamentary lead for the Partnership for National Unity and Shadow Minister of Finance and Health, has vowed to keep the government on its toes. During a candid interview with Nightly News on the sidelines of the convening of the 13th Parliament, Dr. Campbell noted that there will be serious financial oversight of the Sovereign Wealth Fund.
We're going to be pushing for greater transparency, especially with our revenues. The National Resource Fund is made up of oil money. It comes from a non-renewable resource. So we should not be using those funds for recurrent expenditure in Guyana. It should be used just for development and infrastructure projects.
Campbell frankly said the government must account for and justify all its withdrawals made from the Natural Resource Funds. The Shadow Minister of Finance also touched on the importance of debt management, saying that careful assessment must be done on the country's debt to gross domestic product ratio.
We have to look at the build-up of the debt load, especially the foreign debt load in Guyana.
The debt to GDP ratio is a metric that compares a country's public debt to its GDP. It reliably indicates a country's ability to pay back its debts by comparing what a country owes with what it produces. Dr. Campbell noted that it is important for the debt to GDP ratio to be lower than the oil revenues accrued to Guyana.
When you strip out, that GDP ratio includes all of our oil revenues, and not all of our oil revenues accrue to Guyana. And if you strip out the oil revenues that do not accrue to Guyana, then you will find that that debt to GDP ratio will soar. And then things don't look as secure as they look right now. We wouldn't have the same financial strength that we seem to have right now.
Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Antonio, for your reporting. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Krishna Ralph Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Ralph Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
HGP Nightly News. Our developing story now, Antonio Day will tell you that the government is yet to recover some $121.7 million after the termination of the very controversial Bellevue Pump Station contract awarded to Tipui Group Incorporated.
The Bellevue Pump Station contract awarded to Tipui Group Incorporated, owned by social media commentator Michael Rodriguez, also known as the Guyanese critic, has serious problems, according to the Auditor General's report of 2024. The report stated that the government is yet to recover some $121.7 million after the contract was terminated, with Tipui repaying only 6.25%, that is $8.11 million, of the $160.8 million in advance payments. As detailed in the report presented to the National Assembly, Tipui received a total of $160.8 million, which included an advance payment of $129.8 million, 15% of the bid price, and an interim payment of $31.06 million. Nonetheless, a mere fraction of this sum has been returned, and as of September 2025, the outstanding balance remains of $121.7 million, accounting for 93.7% of the mobilization fee that was advanced. Notably, both the advance payment bond and performance bond have expired without clear coverage, raising concerns about the project supervision. After significant delays, Geico Engineering took over the project earlier this year. While some progress has been made, the Auditor General indicated construction advancements are still insufficient. A physical verification conducted on August 22, 2025 confirmed that the new contractor has mobilized and initiated foundational work, which includes the driving of timber piles and the construction of earthen cofferdams. Despite these activities, the project has remained stagnant for almost a year, resulting in the initial completion target of July 2025 being postponed to July 2026. The contract awarded by the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board, MPTAB, has encountered numerous challenges. Originally granted on August 14, 2023 for $865.5 million, the contract was subsequently terminated and renewed on September 15, 2023 for an increased sum of $870.5 million, despite Tipui's failure to satisfy nearly half of the contract eligibility requirements. The Auditor General's report emphasized the urgent need for enhanced oversight by the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure the contractor meets all contractual obligations and adheres to established timelines. Concerns about the contract being handed to Rodriguez, who has no prior construction experience, were voiced by several members of the parliamentary opposition. Ganesh Mahipal, the Shadow Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, has frequently criticized the government on this subject. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
This time, Antonio Day will tell us that a prominent attorney and member of parliament has expressed serious concern over alleged abuse of power by law enforcement officers, particularly regarding unlawful detentions.
Member of Parliament and Shadow Minister of Legal Affairs, Dr. Dexter Todd, has expressed serious concerns over alleged abuse of power by law enforcement officers, particularly regarding unlawful detentions. The Attorney at Law, during an exclusive interview with Nightly News, noted that these are serious human rights violations.
So the law is very clear that you can keep someone in custody for 72 hours pursuing active investigation. We believe there is a misuse. And so we're going to be definitely looking back at that legislation, at the Constitution.
He added that the opposition intends to review the Constitution and related statutes to ensure police powers of arrest are exercised responsibly and that the rights of all Guyanese are protected. The 2018 Cybercrime and the Anti-Terrorism and Terrorist-Related Activities Act of 2015 are also among the legislations the Partnership for National Unity will be evaluating at a parliamentary level. Dr. Tutt confirmed that the draft motions to review the 2018 Cybercrime Act are in circulation, citing widespread concern from citizens who feel unable to freely express themselves without fear of victimization.
People still feel, or citizens still feel, that they are not allowed to express themselves freely, and we have serious concerns about that.
The act, introduced under the former APNU-AFC administration in 2015, has long faced criticism for provisions that allegedly conflict with constitutional rights. In 2022, Attorney General Anil Nandalal announced plans to amend the legislation to align it with United Nations conventions. But Dr. Tutt says more comprehensive revisions are needed. The Shadow Minister also weighed in on the application of terrorism-related charges, referencing public unease following cases such as those involving Adriana Young, Ronaldo Peters, Leon Fergine, and the Henry Boys.
We saw a number of persons being charged for terrorism. We don't believe that those matters constitute terrorist behaviors or the elements of the offense.
Dr. Tutt argued that the Director of Public Prosecution's discretion in such matters must be guided by clearer legislative standards to prevent misuse and ensure justice is served within the intent of the law. Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Despite improvements, persons with disabilities say more must be done to ensure polling stations are accessible. The Guyana Council of Organizations for Persons with Disabilities has shared its findings from the latest elections accessibility audit. Tiana Cole is on this story.
The Guyana Council of Organizations for Persons with Disabilities, GCOPD, on Wednesday launched its election accessibility audit and observation report on the recently concluded general and regional elections held on September 1, 2025. Program Manager of GCOPD, Ganesh Singh, said there were some improvements in accessibility during the last election. However, the audit, which assessed 473 polling stations across the country, found that while 82.9% of stations were located on the ground floor, making them generally accessible, many still remained difficult to navigate for wheelchair users.
It was something that GCOM made a pledge that they will try their best to find locations that are on the ground floor as much as possible.
Singh added that while ramps were also present at some polling stations, 72.7% were poorly designed and unsafe for wheelchair users. Only 23.9% of polling stations had washroom accessible to persons with disabilities.
So what we found is that while there might be ramps at quite a few of the locations that had the polling stations on the ground floor, the ramps were not built to specifications. They were either too narrow, either too steep, or they were located where a wheelchair can't even access them.
Despite these challenges, most voters with disabilities surveyed reported positive experiences. 96.2% said they had sufficient time to vote and found the ballot easy to understand. The Council has recommended that future elections include step-free access, properly designed ramps, accessible washrooms, and clearer legal provisions for reasonable accommodations. His Excellency Sebastian Seguin, High Commissioner of Canada to Guyana, in his remarks noted that Canada has been a long-standing partner in Guyana's democratic journey. He reaffirmed Canada's belief that every citizen deserves to be treated equally and should have a say in choosing the representatives and shaping decisions that affect their lives.
Accessibility is not a privilege, it's a right. And that's why we need to make elections more accessible, not just for strengthening the elections, but also to strengthen the integrity and the inclusivity of the nation.
He added that every citizen, regardless of ability, has an equal right to participate in shaping the future of the democracy.
And beyond the election, I think we must all continue to work together to raise awareness and to challenge the systems that exclude the person with disabilities.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Tiana. There is more news ahead. Stay with us.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
I can open it myself. It's in my bag, and it tastes so good.
The HGP Nightly News. President Ali has announced the establishment of a multi-agency task force that will develop a modernized drainage development plan for the city of Georgetown. According to the president, this involves modernizing and expanding the city's drainage network to prevent flooding and promote sustainable urban growth. Tiana Cole will tell you more.
President Ali said a multi-agency team tasked with developing a drainage development plan for the city of Georgetown will include reviewing existing surveys and studies and design a comprehensive drainage development plan followed by an implementation schedule. He emphasized that the plan will include immediate, short-term, and long-term investments that would not only enhance drainage capacity, but also strengthen the city's overall ability to manage environmental and infrastructural challenges through an integrated approach.
Immediately, they will start with clearing of all the parapets and leveling of parapets throughout the city. Because what we have found is that many of the parapets are overgrown or encumbered by bridges, other kind of encumbrances on the roadways and parapets.
President Ali urged the residents and businesses across Georgetown to cooperate with the team as the first phase of works begin. He said the initiative will be followed by community consultations across several areas starting next week.
Whilst we understand that there will be some amount of inconvenience, this is necessary for the health and well-being of the city. This is necessary for the improvement in your properties, the safety and security of your property, protecting your property from flooding. This is also part of improving the value of your property.
The president also revealed that advanced technology will be used to map and design the city's new drainage plan.
We're going to create a new drainage plan and a schematic of the city drainage using tools that are before us, modern satellite imagery. We have data from the LiDAR surveys. We have other softwares that will be superimposing what is on the ground to give us a strong assessment as to the most optimal solution on each of the drains, that is the main drain, the primary, secondary, tertiary drain.
President Ali further noted that the initiative supports Guyana's low-carbon development strategy, LCDS, as efficient urban drainage is vital for climate resilience and sustainable city planning. The multidisciplinary team includes representatives from the Ministry of Housing, Guyana Lands and Surveys, Ministry of Local Government, the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, Sea Defense, and the Georgetown City Council, among others. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Newly sworn-in Member of Parliament Sherrod Duncan believes the 2024 Auditor General's report confirms that government's spending in both the housing and security sectors is porous due to poor oversight weak internal controls, and disregard for procurement laws. Marvin Cato reports.
It is the Auditor General that highlighted 95 million in overpayments for housing scheme infrastructure and duplicate land allocations where more than one person held the same plot number.
That was Member of Parliament Sherrod Duncan of the Partnership for National Unity, APNU, highlighting overpayments for infrastructural work by the Ministry of Housing in Regions 3 and 4 from the Auditor General's Report 2024. Auditor General Deodat Sharma also highlighted multiple cases of duplicate land allocations. He surmised that the average unit cost for a house exceeded the approved ceiling by more than 1.8 million, and management failed to submit timely responses to audit queries. MP Duncan pointed out that these are not trivial oversights, but evidence of systemic mismanagement in a ministry entrusted with delivering the basic right to shelter he was clear on.
Guyana has lots of land that every person who's entitled can have their individual plot of land. So it says to us that something is happening in the system that has to be fixed.
He lamented that the Ministry of Home Affairs fares no better. The 2024 audit uncovered Guyana 1.4 billion in defective or delayed police station projects, Guyana 88 million in undelivered fire service equipment, and Guyana 136 million in community policing grants without supporting financial reports. Such failures, according to MP Duncan, compromise public safety and erode public confidence in the institutions sworn to protect citizens.
At Home Affairs, advance payments for fire service equipment were made with no delivery records. Something is wrong with that.
The MP is calling for the Public Accounts Committee to be immediately convened and summon the accounting officers of both ministries to account for these lapses and outline corrective measures. He is also recommending the government establish independent internal audit units in every high-spending ministry with quarterly reporting to Parliament.
I'm pressing for a Public Accounts Committee hearing that compels the Central Housing and Planning Authority to submit per unit cost breakdowns and variation orders.
Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Something new has been growing, and it's now ready for you to pick.
Fresh.
Taste the Fruta freshness. Pick the fresh new 200 ml size today. Live Fruitaful.
You know, brethren.
Yeah, blood.
I said like you didn't pass it through today.
Ah, boys, them file here, you tell people stop me and it take come to me on help.
Oh, but hey, I hiding from them people all now, boy. Man, none of them things. Plus, I skipped them people last year. And did you and I feel good? Make no sense I take that. You think this is still gonna take us out? Yeah.
No matter what, you could feel good, but the worm still and you said you could get a big foot and all.
Oh, hey, Bigfoot, worm. Hey, man, stop playing, you know. Hey, me auntie take them pills and she gets sick. Really. Plus, me auntie, me sister and them did I take it. That them Bigfoot and them things come from crap who blowing on your foot.
Yes.
Or over your body, and not file in your body.
Nice, serious body. You see, if you don't take the pill, the worm goes inside you for years. Plus, when the mosquito bite you can pass on a crime, give it to your family or even weep. Aside, plus, your auntie must see you had the thing and all, the pill helps shit. Don't believe in them or be a stubborn dog.
So wait, you telling the rascal get this thing you could give family and don't even know?
Yeah, man. Plus, if you think get bad, your foot and your skin swell up big. Even your basket swell big, you get gory.
Hey. You are none of that. Hey, bye, best you take this pill and done, bye. Yeah, but that's why we all got to take the fileria pill. Yeah. Protect your family and everybody else. We are talking about fileria gonna get knocked out. TKO.
Full of vibes. Say hello to your new favorite sip, Fruta Mango Passion. This tropical combo of mango and passion fruit delivers a bold flavor and wholesome goodness. It's fruity, it's vibrant, and it fits right into your day. Grab your Mango Passion can today and live fruitfully. Fruta.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Regional News. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said his government will push for an independent probe into the police raid last week in Rio de Janeiro that killed 121 people, including 4 police officers. It is important to see under what conditions it happened, he told reporters in Belém ahead of COP30 climate summit. The judge's order was for arrest warrants to be served, not a mass killing, and yet there was a mass killing. The operation on October 28 was the deadliest in Brazil's history. It targeted the Commando Vermelho gang that controls the drug trade in several poor, densely populated neighborhoods, overthrew the city's hilly terrain. Rio de Janeiro state officials described it as a success. State Governor Claudia Castro said the only real victims were the slain officers and that all the others killed were criminals. The raids underscored a complex political scenario for Lula, a leftist, who has attempted to reconcile international concerns over human rights violations with growing public support for a crackdown on crime. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has insisted that Trinidad and Tobago has no plans to leave CARICOM, despite her government's focus on strengthening ties with countries outside the region. Speaking during an event in Tobago during her first official visit to the island since being re-elected, Persad-Bissessar said the country must expand its international partnerships while remaining part of the regional bloc. She added that CARICOM will continue as a bloc, but stressed the need to attract new investment. Russia remains in constant contact with Venezuela over tensions in the Caribbean. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov was quoted as saying on Tuesday, "We have constant working contacts with Venezuela," TASS news agency quoted Peskov as telling reporters at a briefing in response to questions about whether Moscow was extending help to Caracas. TASS said Peskov declined to give any further details about the nature of the contacts. Peskov, quoted by TASS, said last weekend that Russia wanted the situation between Venezuela and the United States to remain calm and to ensure that new conflicts broke out in the region. The Russian Foreign Ministry at the weekend denounced excessive military force by the United States in the Caribbean Sea and reaffirmed its support for Venezuela's leaders. A U.S. campaign in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific against what Washington says is the illegal drug trade has targeted at least 14 boats and killed 61 people. The United States has built up a large military presence in the Caribbean in recent months. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro signed a strategic partnership and agreement in Moscow in May. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Delvin Neblet now joins us with HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delvin Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Wednesday, November 5, 2025. We begin tonight with athletics. Part of Team Guyana's contingent have departed for the 6th edition of the Islamic Solidarity Games, set for November 7 to 21, 2025 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Representing in the sport of table tennis will be Shamar Britton, Elisha Johnson, Nigel Bryan, Chelsea Edgell, Jasmine Billingy, and Turaya Thomas, with coaches Lyndon Johnson and Joel Allain. Delroy Tyrell will be representing in swimming along with coach Ewan Monroe, as Kevin Allicock and Joel Williamson will represent in boxing, coached by Lennox Daniels. The 11-member track and field team, coached by Quincy Clark, is set to travel on November 13. Moving into football, the 4th edition of the ExxonMobil Linden Futsal Tournament kicks off this Friday with 4 fixtures at the Retrieve Hard Court. 16 teams are set to compete in 4 groups, where the top 2 teams in each group will advance to the quarterfinals knockout round. Defending champions YMCA will be represented by 2 teams in this year's competition. The first match on Friday is scheduled for an 18 hours 30 start, featuring Group D teams Fearless and Stabrook. The knockout stages begin on Friday, November 21st, while the semifinals will be played on Saturday, November 22nd. The final is set for Saturday, November 29th. Moving into basketball, with Guyana set to host the FIBA's Women's Caribbean Championship for the first time since 1994, the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sport is ensuring that the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall is fully prepared for the regional showdown. Guyana, along with Suriname, the Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, and Jamaica, will compete in a single round-robin tournament from November 12 to 16. The top 3 teams will earn qualification to the 2026 Central Basket. During a press conference on Tuesday, November 4th, Minister the Honorable Stephen Jacobs reaffirmed the country's readiness to stage the FIBA tournament. He highlighted that as Guyana continues to position itself as a regional sporting hub, it is essential that local facilities meet international standards. In addition to upgrades to the basketball court, the sports hall will feature a new parking lot area and an additional entrance via Hatfield Street. A technical area was also installed. Team Guyana won the Women's Caribbean Championship in 1996 in Trinidad and Tobago, with Karen Abrams as captain and Lyndon Sanko Alfonso as coach. The Women's Caribbean Championship was first hosted in Barbados in 1985, and Ghana first featured in 1986 in Trinidad and Tobago. Ghana first hosted the Women's Caribbean Championship in 1988 at the Cliff Anderson Sports Hall. Also in basketball, a new basketball court has been constructed in Campbellville. In February, the Minister of Public Works, the Honorable Bishop Juan Edgel, met with Campbellville residents, including local athletes, to discuss plans to construct a new basketball court in the community. The facility has now replaced the previous court, which was demolished during the construction of the Conversation Tree project. According to Ghana Basketball Federation Vice President Raul Tony, the new court is the country's first tiled all-weather basketball court. And finally, in cricket, the West Indies secured victory in the first of 5 T20 internationals scheduled to be played against New Zealand at Eden Park earlier today. Batting first after being sent in, the Windies reached 164 for 6 off their allotment of 20 overs, as captain Shea Hope top scored with a superb 53 from 39, and Robman Powell added 33 from 23. Both Jacob Duffy and Zachary Folks picked up 2 wickets for New Zealand, as Jimmy Neesham picked up 1. When New Zealand responded, they were limited to 157 for 9 off their allotment of 20 overs, as the captain Mitchell Satner remained unbeaten on 55 from 28, and Tim Robinson added 27 from 21. Player of the match Roston Chase returned to pick up 3 for 26 from 4 overs, in addition to his important knock of 28 from 27. Jaden Seals also picked up 3 wickets, as Akil Hussain picked up 1 in the 7-run victory. The Windies now take a 1-0 lead into the second match of the series, scheduled for tomorrow at 2 a.m. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblet, reminding you to stay in the game.
Mastermind, 3 others charged with terrorism, remanded to jail until November 12, 2025. 3 charged with aiding and abetting terrorists. Lawyer argues that there was an abusive process. Dr. Campbell to keep government on its toes regarding transparency and accountability of all resources. And task force to develop comprehensive drainage development plan for Georgetown, says President Ali. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.